Hey everyone, this is the September pickup video. Apologies if my voice is low, but I don't have enough room to put the mic here, so hopefully I'm close enough. Mostly retro, a few newer items. Um, One of the biggest things I bought was a custom shelf. If I can figure out how, I'll put an image of it at the end of the video or here if I can. I'm not sure if I'll be able to because I'm just using whatever this is, photo booth now. But I had a guy custom build it to the exact dimensions I wanted, which means there's maximum storage for jewel cases, uh, long box and Super Nintendo, and it's very shallow. It's only like 8.5 inches deep, which left enough room in the closet for me to put some more storage. Now it looks cluttered. It looked really nice when I first put it in, but I really have to maximize storage in there since that room is the only one I can put cardboard items uh, attached to the central cooling system or the AC. The stuff back here is not. You might hear a window unit. That's got to cool off this whole area, and it just doesn't very well. Um, House cleaning bits. One, check out Alex Whitney. You might remember him from Don't Move Phoenix. He's back on YouTube. He streams now. I don't really watch streams, but he'll archive his streams onto YouTube. So he's done streams of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, one of the 24 games, if there are more than one, um, a Tony Hawk game, and Emily is Away, which was a really good one. He went through 2 playthroughs of that. He got pretty invested, as did I. Although in the end, Emily, I think some of it was on you. How it turned out, it wasn't all on the protagonist. I think you have to take some responsibility for what happened. Also, Shock 16's still doing his Friday Night Fight. I don't think I've mentioned that. It's back for a fourth go. He's got all of the back ones up if you want to go check those out. This new season, he's played, I think it's WWF In Your House for the Saturn. One of the World Art of Fighting games. Excuse me. Soul Edge, UFC game, I want to say. Just a wide variety. I haven't checked out today's. I'll be doing that when I go to work in a minute. Of course, it is Friday. I'm not going to do that much work. Come on now. I'll also say that in terms of YouTube, I know people don't like Patreon. I'm pretty indifferent to it. But one thing that's really bugging me is people who don't do a lot for their videos. Not that they put up a Patreon and ask for that. I mean, I don't care if you ask. It's when they get mad when no one's done it. If you're doing what I do, which is literally nothing, like the bare minimum, and no one pays you for that, why are you ever surprised? If you sit on a stool and just say what you did for the day, or like what games you played, why are you mad if no one's going to pay you for that? Or if you don't have tens of thousands of subscribers? I keep seeing these videos where people get upset that they don't have more exposure and they're not getting more income. If you're not doing anything, why? I'm surprised anyone watches this. I'm glad that you do, don't get me wrong. But I mean, this is nothing. This is more for me just to talk about stuff I bought because it's fun to talk about games. Like, if you want to sit down and talk about your favorite horror movies or a good book you read, that's most of the benefit is on you because it's just fun to do that. And if you're like me, you don't have other people to talk to about it, this is a great outlet. Why you expect tens of thousands of people to flock to you when you put the bare minimum of effort in, I do not know. And certainly don't expect people to give you money. Like, there's a lot of great channels that put a lot of time and effort, and I don't donate to any Patreon, but I am not surprised they have them, like Lazy Game Reviews, Kim Justice, Black Lily 8, Matt Chat. I'm not surprised they have Patrons. Those are great channels. A lot of time and effort goes into those. But if you're doing this, just go ahead, throw it up, see if someone wants to throw a few bucks your way, but let it go when they don't. All right. Rant over. That was really annoying me. It's like they have no concept of how much effort it takes if you really want to make a living on YouTube. It's not that easy. I would not want to be one of those people. Their lives just look uh, like I do accounting, and that's boring enough. But if I have to sit here every day and do a gameplay playthrough and talk about a game I don't want to talk about, that just sucks all the fun out of one of the things I do enjoy. Okay, I said I was done. Now I'm done. Moving along. Only modern stuff really is I got a code in for Steins Gate. For PC, played it, didn't really live up to my expectations, but that's because for years I've heard that it's just the best. I probably got the first ending, so I'm playing through with a walkthrough to get the true ending. And I don't know how you just figure out the true ending. It's so confusing to go through the proper steps. And also, I know visual novels are text heavy, but I've gone through a number of them, and this one has less things to do than most that I've found. And what was really kind of grating is that if you're not going to give me a lot to do, at least make sure the text is really concise, because they would say things in like 6 or 7 sentences that you could say in 3 without sacrificing kind of personality. I did enjoy it overall. You know, I like time travel and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for it. I like the ending I got too. I would have been happy if I just quit there because it was really took a twist I wasn't expecting. But in general, yeah, it could use some tighter editing, a little bit more to do. But on the whole, yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I got it for Vita, but I didn't get to it before the PC version came out. And with that one, I can stream it on this laptop while I'm in the living room and my wife is doing stuff. So that worked out well. I got to cut in for Rise of Iron Destiny. I've been playing that a lot. I'm really surprised Bungie has not added matchmaking for everything. Like if you go to what is it called, a strike or whatever, and it says fire teams 1 to 3 players, and there's no matchmaking, you just have to know 1 to 3 people that'll play with you. But other things have matchmaking. I do not understand why they haven't done that yet, because I got stuck on a few older quests I was going to go back and complete because of it. But overall, it's not as strong as the Taken King, and I am getting a little tired of the exact same formula of go down like a long hallway, fight your way there, get in a room, scan something, fight off like the 3 waves of invasions, go to the next thing. It worked for a while, and it's still fun because just the moment-to-moment gameplay of Destiny I really like. I love the powers. I think the guns feel better than any other game I've played. By far, I enjoy it way more than the Halo series. But yeah, just the overall like mission structure needs a refresh. In terms of other new stuff, I think that is it. I did get in 3 games from GameFly. The Division was like $12. I think it's $12.99. I haven't put this in yet. My PS4 time is really Destiny and King of Fighters, which explains why I haven't put much time into Earth Defense Force 4.1. I do have the earlier release of this for the 360, and I put a lot of time into it. I was watching classic game reviews, and he was talking about how much better this version is. And this was the most expensive out of the GameFly lot. It was like $14.99. And for $9, I think it's $9.99, Agatha Christie's The ABC Murders. Now, me and my wife really like Poirot. She's read the stories, and so have my in-laws, but I like David Suchet, and so I don't really care to read the stories. When I think of Poirot, I just want that. I want him. His likeness is not in the game, but it is him and Hastings, very small screenshots. And I haven't touched this because she wants to go through it with me. I think like Mario, 3 Mario games, Animal Crossing, it's one of those things I'll never get to play because she swears she'll sit down one day and play this with me, but she won't. I'll have to crack this open at night when she goes to bed and see how it is. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Poirot. I had some Amazon credit and was kind of just messing around and checked out their Dreamcast section, and they still have a good number of sealed Dreamcast games. This was less than $6 when I bought it, Demolition Racer, and it got really good reviews. I remember at the time it got decent scores, but on Amazon it's like a 4.8 out of 5. It won't show up very well. If you can tell, there is scuffing. Yeah, there you go at the top. That is a scuff mark on the manual, and this thing is Y-folded, steel sealed. That is a reoccurring problem I have with Dreamcast games and increasingly PlayStation 1 games. For I think this was about $10 is Sega Marine Fishing. I still have the fishing reel controller, and I already have Sega Bass Fishing, and the only fishing games I like, and they're the only fishing games you need. This one also has scuffed manual on the side, which this one's not as bad, so it might not show up. But I don't know how this is happening. But Sega Marine Fishing. This was the most expensive for like $14. Space Channel 5. I've actually never played this before, and I figured it being kind of a classic for the series, even if it's not, a gameplay classic, you just think of Space Channel 5, you think of the Dreamcast. I did order Bang Gunship Elite, but they sent me the PC version, which is a shame because it was only $15, and it goes from more used. I contacted the seller and they said that's the only version they have. I contacted Amazon and said, hey, the $15 one you have up is PC. They never took it down. So if you go to Amazon and get Bang Gunship Elite for the Dreamcast, you're going to get the PC version. The seller just said contact Amazon. Like, well, what are you doing? A newer release. Well, let's see. What did I used up the rest of my credit towards Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which was kind of a mistake. I don't have time to play this on the console, but I do. I can bring my handheld with me to work, play during downtime. After next week, it's going to slow down considerably, so I'll have a lot more free time to just knock around the office. This kept going up in price. I bought it. It went up in price about 2 more times, and then about a week later, it tanked. Like they got a whole new shipment in, and the price dropped like $10. I only paid about half of that, so I still could have saved about $5 if I had waited, but I did wait, and it just kept going up. Oh well. Now, just as a fresh purchase, I picked up. Oh no, this is off eBay. Sorry, River City Ransom, River City Tokyo Rumble. This was. I don't know what Natsumi was thinking. They talked about it. They said we're going to release it. They have an Amazon store. Like that's their storefront is Amazon. I never found a pre-order link, and I checked it periodically. Then one day I went to go, and the product page wasn't even there. I had a direct link that was cached, and that was still there, but if you search for the game, it wouldn't come up. And someone said, yeah, it did go up for pre-order, and it immediately sold out. I had to go to eBay. A guy had this named Deal Tavern, which Derek H. had mentioned, and I added a few games to my cart from him, but hadn't checked out. I asked Crack Lotus where he got his, and he pointed to Deal Tavern. And in that meantime, they had already sold like 20 copies. So I bought mine, and about an hour later, the price went up a few dollars. And since then, I think it's gone up about $5 since I bought it. But as I've tracked stuff from Deal Tavern, their prices will go down. So unless they sell out of these, just keep it in your cart and wait. They have a King of Fighters 98 for PS2 that fluctuates between like $25 and $35. So let's give it time. It should go down. I was pretty excited for this, and then I've read that it's kind of just okay, and so have not been in a rush to play it. I know this is probably a mistake, but Deal Tavern also had Samurai Shodown Sen for like $13. I've heard this is terrible. I can't help myself. I like Samurai Shodown. I have almost a complete series except for 5 or 5 Special. I really want that for MVS, but or is it 4 Special? I'm getting mixed up here. I think it's 4 Special. That is it expensive? It's way more on AES, but it's very expensive MVS. Speaking of MVS, I was going to go for a Waku Waku 7, but that went for $170. I have it for Saturn, and if I had bought it at $170 plus 20-something shipping, that would have been the most expensive game I've ever bought, and I was not ready for that game to take the crown. I enjoy it, but I don't think I enjoy it $200 worth. This one kind of a little bit of a letdown. This is Ultima, the False Prophet. $15. So I was really excited, jumped on it. Now, they kind of had it at that MySpace Facebook angle where it's like that. And I could see there was some wear. And then they took a picture of like one of the sides. I think it was a decent looking one like this one. So I thought, oh yeah, I see a little nick here. That's fine, $15. Well, then it turns out they're in Canada. And I emailed them because they only wanted $4 shipping. And I said, oh, okay, well, how'd you get the shipping so cheap? Because Canada's kind of expensive to ship from. They were going to put it in an envelope. So then I said, okay, how much for a box? And suddenly it was like $11, $12 for the box. So by the end of this, I still paid less than what you see it go for used, but they also never showed me that they had a price tag ripped on the back, a price sticker, how damaged it was. So that was, I'm going to take this as a loss as well. Might be giving this one away. I'm going to play it, see how I like it, and if I like it, I'll rebuy it. If not, I just, sometimes just the principle of it, like knowing you got kind of screwed. I'm not going to kick up a fuss with them because they'll say, I put 3 pictures up. Whatever. Yeah, you put the best shots up. But this one actually, aside from it taking forever to get here, the seller took full advantage of their, 5 to 10 business day thing, but it's Headbuster for the Game Gear. This is from Masaya. I think that's how it's pronounced. They made Land Gracier. I really like their games. Assault Suit Lanos. They did all of them. Well, this is a little action, or I should say strategy game. This is sealed, but it's not brand new. It's just a really nice reseal. I keep saying I'm getting a Retro Freak with the Game Gear attachment. Haven't done that yet because I bought that shelf. I will soon. My Game Gear's got broken capacitor, so there's no sound. I haven't even bothered playing this yet. I'm going to play it on the Retro Freak. But that company makes some great box art. Really nice. And I also got this because there is a fan translation hack on ROM hacking for it. Speaking of which, Police Knots for the Saturn has a fan translation. I bought that game, I think, 2 years ago in anticipation of this. Not a lot of progress was made, or it was made, they just didn't really update too often. Finally have it. Super pumped. I burned all the discs, got them to work. Haven't dove into it yet because I want to use the light gun and the mouse, so I got to play that in another room that has a CRT. Super excited. Now, if only someone would do Snatcher, but I don't think anyone is. I read that is really hard to do because these subtitles are all graphics and people have a hard time finding where those are in the file structure. And then once they find them, they still have to replace them, and that will just take way too long. And everyone just says, the Sega CD version is good. Play it anyway because it's one of the better ones. For me, it's more that the Sega CD version is like $500, and I already have the imports, and I would love to just apply a patch. But one day, I'll have to try to just buckle down and get the Sega CD one. Now, I already had the game, but I bought a box with manual for Dragon Lore. The box is a little beat up, but it was really cheap. I actually liked this for PC when I played it years back, and I want to collect PC adventure games for the 3DO. Downside, the discs are all damaged. I recall them being scratched when I bought it, but I also tested it out. It worked fine. Well, after I got this in, I thought, you know what? Let me play through Dragon Lore. Yeah, the beginning area works fine. You can talk to someone, that works. You can interact with things. All that works great. But once you leave the farmstead, if you take a right, the disc freezes. So I took it out and looked, and it looks like there's a chip missing. But it looks like there's a chip missing in the same spot of every disc. Like something just, like a thing hit it and it impacted it and they all squished. Yeah, I'm going to try to get it resurfaced. I don't know. I don't have a resurfacing machine. Might be one of those things where I have to rebuy it, and if someone has a resurfacing machine, just send it to them to play if they want. But you can buy this box for like $40, but I got it. This kind of Frankenstein was like $14 plus. I think I paid $4 for the game itself, so it was like $18 to $20. But how it's worked out, I probably should have just paid the $35. It's always a gamble when you try to piecemeal things. Some single PS1 games. Picked up Quake 2. Now, I'm running into this problem a lot with PlayStation games. You'll see here. There is, let me put it right here. It's not going to pick it up. There you go. You can see the spindle, an impression of the spindle. And if it picks up on the side here, an impression from the disc. I'm seeing that a lot. This is really cheap, but every version I saw had a damage manual. What I like about this one is when I first played Quake, I didn't have a graphics card, so everything was kind of dark and pixelated, and that's what this looks like. This is kind of a mid engine where it's not as bad as an unaccelerated Quake 2, but it's not as nice as if you had like a Voodoo card or whatever it was at the time. So you still get cleaned up polygons, nice architecture, but it's still got a bit of grain to it. And I end up really liking the graphic style of this, and it controls really well too. Screenshots are tiny though. But yeah, this was, what I like about the grain, especially Quake 2, is when you play with a graphics card, everything, light sources look very neonish. And to me, that's not Quake. Quake to me is like spikes, hard edges on objects, like kind of like the real gothic look. And this kind of puts a film of that gothic style, because everything's a little harder and edgier than like the fluorescent light sources and the smooth edges. I want that edge. But yeah, so Quake 2, and that's dirt cheap. But if you can find it with a manual, grab it, because I never found one. This was because I just really wanted to play it. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. I have it for Saturn. I never got it. I love the art for this. I remember when I first saw the art back in the 90s. That is great. The Saturn version for this, which I have tucked away over there, I recently saw sell for $90, which blew my mind. because that was like a $20-$30 game. This one was like $15, really good shape. You saw that. This is a really nice manual. The case is cracked, which I don't care about. But aside from some indentions from the staples here, there is no wear. There's no fading. There's nothing. There was no indentions on the front of the manual. Really nice. Derek H. mentioned this in one of his pickup videos, so I grabbed a copy of Swagman. This one, I put bubble wrap to keep from the spindle and pressing, but this one has a really nice manual too. I was very worried when I opened it because they didn't have too many images of it. Ooh, let me fix that. And if I could recommend something to people, if you store your games down, put them spine down, because what I've realized is over the time, when you put it this way, the pressure from that starts to indent them. So I always put them this way. I have shelves I put my games in. I read this on a few best of PlayStation lists, and they actually talked about Syndicate Wars. This came in a Netscape. If you remember Netscape Navigator, the browser, it came in a Netscape Navigator jewel case. It was a very nice throwback. You'll see this manual is heavily dented. Yeah, this actually did not come up a lot. The price was cheap. They don't sell for a lot, but there are just not many of them that pop up too often. And this was a lot. The third of this I've already sent out, but I wanted Command and Conquer. And the person had all 4 of these games for, I think, 11, and I put 7 and they took it. But this Command and Conquer has an absolutely amazing manual. What you'll see a lot for Command and Conquer is the manual scuffed up, beat up. I guess because it's a strategy game, people reread it a lot. But this looks brand new. It's got both discs, GDI nod, but it also came with, I forgot the third thing I gave away. I wasn't into it, but a copy of Loaded with a messy jewel case, but that's fine. Yeah, I have the big box version of this, but I've never owned the jewel case version. It is, I don't know if there's a non-greatest hits jewel case of Loaded, but you can see also the white there, that is also from the disc. Like I said, this is happening to me more and more with PlayStation. And 2 Extreme, which I didn't own. I own ESPN. This one's got kind of a, I don't know, it's not warped, it's just got a little bulge. I've played ESPN Extreme. I've read this one is not very good. I wasn't a huge fan of ESPN Extreme. I thought it was all right. A friend of mine absolutely loved it and raved about it, and I just played the demo a lot on the demo disc. He rented it all the time. I don't have it here, but I also bought Red Alert. I bought the Command & Conquer first, then read that it doesn't have mouse support, but Red Alert does, so then I immediately bought Red Alert because playing those with a controller is such a hassle. I tried with Warcraft 2 on the Saturn, which I have gameplay footage up, that each mission easily took 3 times longer than if you just had a mouse. The last stuff is from an importer. You don't see it here, but pretend there's an import PlayStation 2. That was really cheap, under $20. But to reduce shipping, I bought a few other items to bundle together. First off is Final Fantasy VI. Derek H. in his favorite covers video mentioned this was one of his favorites, and it was one of mine, but I had just never grabbed it. And these are really cheap on eBay. I guess because you don't really need it with Final Fantasy III here. But there's also a fan translation of this that kind of tweaks item names and stuff. So I would like to check it out when I get a Retro Freak and see what's changed. But I really just like the art. Let me see if I can pop it out. Give it its... Treat it right. Way better than what we got. Few other imports here. One of which I saw Sporadic Spacebar mention one of the series of, and people were kind of talking about it. And this is one that it jogged my memory, and I checked ROM hacking, and sure enough, there was a fan translation, and I was able to score a copy of Shadow Tower Abyss. I screwed up like 5 DVDs to get this to work. You have to apply a few patches. I kept swapping them and not doing all of them at the same time. I feel like an idiot. But it is working now. It's really neat that you control your attack with one of the analog sticks. So if you flick it to the right, the guy will swing a knife to the right, and if it makes contact, it'll cut off an arm. It'll cut off another arm and cut off a head. You get a pistol, so it mixes melee and uh, melee and gun. I guess I don't know how many firearms there are, but it's still pretty neat, even if you just have a gun. This is my fan translation version I made. So yeah, it came in really good shape, and this was also cheap. Also has like a 1-800 number or something. There's a registration card, and then a little pamphlet in the back to call. Yeah, this pops up every now and then, but this one was very affordable, so super happy about that. I have put some time into it. Did not do well, but I got to really devote more to it. I picked up Clock Tower, The First Fear. This does have a fan translation. No, what do you call it? A spine card, and you see there's a little warping here, but it was about $4. And when I found out there's a fan translation of it, I didn't care. The back is terrible. That there is nothing for you to see. I am shocked at this because it's actually a 2D adventure game, and yeah, I don't know what this is. This is just a bunch of crap. They consider this the definitive version. So for Halloween, snatched it up. And the last few times I order stuff from them, I grab a King of Fighters. And this time I was able to get King of Fighters 98, which is one of my favorites of the series, for PlayStation for, I think, $1.25. Maybe it's because it didn't come with a spine card. Let me check. I thought most of the stuff I bought did. It's got the registration card. Maybe that's why. Yeah, I guess it was cheap because it didn't come with a spine card. And the series continues its run with for the PlayStation versions of just having a character's face stare at you from the front, just mugging you. Look at that, almost Prince-like eyes. Magic Carpet, really cheap, just to do it. I don't know if I have it for the Saturn. If I don't, this is my only home console port of it, and it's a lot of fun. It's pretty tough with the controller. Keyboard, mouse on the PC, it's a blast. So, big fan of Magic Carpet. This is Fatal Fury Special, which I have for the Super Famicom. It's a lot of fun, and this is for the PC Engine. I really like this series. Although this looks like water damage, it is not. Every manual has that. It's I don't know why they would do it, but they also did it down the back. It looks damaged, but that's just artistic license, I guess. And finally, I grabbed a bunch of demo discs from them. This is only one of the 2 stacks for the Pure set, which I've already have. I put up a video of the first one a while back. I did a video for the second one. Unfortunately, Volume 3 is pretty much just a smaller version of Volume 2. It's mostly the same games. I'm still going to do it. I want to do a demo tour of all of them. When I bought this bundle, I got the 1 through 11, or maybe 15. So I have tons of these. And I picked up Pure Plus, another demo set for PlayStation. These go into the 2000s. Those are mid to late 90s. And that is everything. Thanks for watching. Look for more demo videos. I'm going to have plenty of those coming. I have more interactive entertainment videos coming. I know I lose subscribers every time I put one up, but I will continue to put them up. I love those things. I know a few people do enjoy them, so I have tons more. I've got about 30 of those I've already ran through virtual dubbed and compressed and have them ready to upload. I just got to remember to do it. I'm trying to do 1 to 2 a day until I finish them, and I'll continue to make more. All right, everyone, thanks for watching.